makes the lane change, but I do have somebody else here, so I'm taking over right there. That was a near miss. All right, well, welcome. We're going to try a drive here in the Twin Cities area. Currently waiting for our turn to get on to Interstate 494 eastbound, and the car is having a little confusion here in the dual lane. So this is a metered highway entrance for 2 lanes, and it's actually 1 lane as depicted on the road. So I'm going to take the autopilot off, creep up here for the car to know when it's its turn, and re-engage autopilot. So the first thing I notice is it doesn't detect the 2-lane situation, which is kind of a makeshift during rush hour only for the highway entrance here. So I do not think full self-driving has been designed for this type of driving scenario. So this is a situation coming up here in which I really, really enjoy having autopilot or full self-driving, either one, in the Tesla, and that's with stop-and-go traffic. So it makes it actually very easy to navigate in this, because the car will automatically come to a stop when the traffic is stopped. And in this case, it did merge over to what it depicted as the fastest lane. So this car is equipped with Tesla full self-driving, and I've upgraded it to the beta, full self-driving beta version 10.69.2.2. So I'm running the latest version of the beta software. I do have an ambulance coming up behind me, so I'm just going to see how the car reacts to that. We should slow down and stop, let the ambulance pass by. Or maybe not. The ambulance did get by just safely, though. So the car is wanting to brake. I think it's seeing that the traffic on the left is a hazard, or it's detecting something in that traffic that it thinks is a hazard for us. So a couple of times there I did tap the accelerator just to let it know it was okay to go. And this is the sea of traffic that I'm very familiar with here in downtown Minneapolis. So as I'm driving along, I'm looking constantly at the cars on the right-hand side, making sure I don't see any blinkers, turn signals to merge into this lane that would present a hazard for us. So I feel like the car is doing a pretty safe job maintaining a speed. It's going 35 miles an hour right here. There's stop-and-go traffic pretty consistently on our right-hand side. We're going to make an exit into the downtown area. So this lane is appropriate for us. And signaling an upcoming lane change. I'm going to go ahead and make this lane change for the car, because we've got some pretty fast traffic coming up behind us. And re-engaging full self-driving. So it does have the turn signal on for lane change. It's going to pull in right behind this Model S. And we do want to exit on 11th Street, just coming up here in about 0.2 miles. So I'm going to increase the speed just a little bit, get us up to the flow of traffic. And it missed that turn actually for the 11th Street exit, but we're doing okay here. It did readjust the route for navigation. And we've arrived in the downtown area of Minneapolis. We've got a pedestrian coming up here on the left side, one way. Car correctly gets in the lane, makes the turn. Does not turn into the bike lane, that's very good. And in about a half a mile, we're going to be in the right lane to make a right-hand turn, so we'll watch the car get over for that. But first, slow brake here for the red light traffic signal. And then we'll proceed on our route. So we're getting close to that right-hand turn. We are still in the far left lane, so we do want to make a merge over to the rightmost lane for our turn. We are here at Target downtown. And just to show you some of the visualization, what the car is seeing. So it's seeing a lot of pedestrians crossing, see the buses. We see our trajectory, our route showing straight through the intersection. Anything that is going to be in our path shows up as blue on the screen. And so you can see buses and other traffic show up as blue. All right, we've got light change to green. Going through the intersection. Now we've got the turn signal on. Car is indicating that it does want to get over to the next lane. Makes the lane change, but I do have somebody else here, so I'm taking over right there. That was a near miss. Not going to fault full self-driving for that because that car did make a sudden change, and there's no way that our car would have known that it was turning into our lane. But I'm going to slow down just a little bit through here. Good navigation through that turn. So I'm going to exit right here, reset our route. And we'll find somewhere else downtown to get to. Right, so we are going to start this drive at the US Bank Stadium here in downtown Minneapolis. It's the home of the Minnesota Vikings. Just looping around this, we're going to then go to the Target Stadium, also in downtown Minneapolis. So one of the things that I wanted to do on this drive is take it into an urban downtown environment for full self-driving, just to put the car through its paces, see how well it did with navigation, traffic. It is a busy time of day. This is rush hour here. We do have a green light, but we do not have a green arrow, so the car is waiting for its turn. Sees no traffic coming, but there is a pedestrian right there in the crosswalk. Correctly sees a pedestrian. And I'm going to encourage it to go, just because the light changed real quick. So I was waiting for that pedestrian to get fully out of the intersection before it proceeded, and while we were there in the middle of the turn, the car was in the intersection when the light changed to red. So I did have to take over at that point and get us out of the intersection. Now we are back on full self-driving beta version 10.69.2.2. navigating from US Bank Stadium to the Target Center in downtown Minneapolis. Now we've got a green light, so we're going to proceed through this intersection. Nice straight shot here, just stoplights, other traffic and pedestrians to work through as we get to the Target Center. So nothing too challenging for the car. We're going to take it deeper into downtown as we continue on our route from there. Car is signaling a left turn, but we do have another vehicle up here behind us coming up. Let that guy go through and then we'll continue on our turn. So it's a little late getting into the lane change to continue on our route. Almost didn't make it because we had that other vehicle pulling up from our left side and passing us. And I did have to intervene by pushing the accelerator just a little bit once we let that vehicle go past us to make that turn. And we've arrived at the Target Center. All right, we're going to make a left-hand turn here, just waiting for traffic to clear the intersection. Don't have any pedestrians. Car is seeing it. Just giving a little bit of accelerator to encourage it to go. And we're eventually going to want to be in the right-hand lane, and the car does make the lane change right there. Do you see that we have one vehicle that's right behind us? But we did merge over before that vehicle had taken its space in the lane next to us. And we'll just continue straight here through this nice downtown area. Eventually, in about a half a mile or so, we're going to want to make just a quick right-hand turn. So we've got a little bit of time to work over to the right lane, but the car is going to need to navigate this with traffic passing us on the right-hand side. Okay, we've got the green light, no pedestrians in the intersection. We do have a vehicle that wants to merge into this lane, but it doesn't look like that was a hazard for us. Car saw that. You see on the screen too that the turn signals are depicted on the vehicles as they make their turn, so it is detecting turn intent from other vehicles. So we do have the bus taking the space next to us. The car is going to make his move right there. So now we're going to see if we can make it into the right lane eventually. And there we go. So it's good. It was safe and effective. Not exactly the way that I would have driven it, but it did get the job done. And we proceed through the intersection. So we are stopped here. This is a bus stop. We're just waiting for this bus to drop off passengers. Probably not going to leave the lane because we're so close to the right-hand turn. Car signals right. We do have a red light and a pedestrian coming up to the crossing here. Okay, we're creeping forward, looking for traffic coming in from the left-hand side. Car does not see anything. Makes the turn, commits, really nicely done. So I was a little confused at what the car wanted to do there. I didn't take over, but I did notice that it was starting to make that turn, and then it hesitated because it knew that there's a car coming in for that turn as well. The noise that you heard, the alert that you heard, was the car detecting that there was traffic that I was about, another car that I was about to hit. And that was actually a parked car on a corner, so my car was following the corner, but because I took over and it thought that I was intending to drive forward where that car was parked. So good job on the safety for the car. I think the car did a nice job in that corner. There's a vehicle parked, not encroaching into our lane, but it was kind of parked far out, and we did make the corner nice and wide to get around that vehicle. We do have a red light here. We've got some traffic coming in from the left. It's going to pause because there's an ambulance coming by here. After that, we're clear. Good. Nice job with navigation and turning. So we do have a red light is one way. We've got traffic coming in from the left-hand side. Car sees an opening. Nobody in the crosswalk. Very nicely done. So I'm signaling a turn into the left lane, but there's traffic coming up right behind us, as you can see on the camera. The car hesitated to let that car get past us. Did make it into the left lane with plenty of time to make this turn. and it picked a nice line through that turn. So everything looked good on that part of the navigation. Our next goal is going to be to get back onto the interstate, to head eastbound on Interstate 94 to go back to Eau Claire. I just wanted to show a little bit more of the traffic and the drive downtown and then navigating onto the highway, including the merge. So we're going to see how well the car does. All right, car signaling for a right turn. Navigates into the right turn lane very well. And at this point, we've got two options. The right side would be for carpool. The left side is for general traffic, so the car did decide to go to the left side, which is very appropriate. And you can see some of the traffic. This is pretty busy. I'm going to show the rear camera view here on the screen. And it looks like that was pretty good. Pretty much a non-event getting onto the freeway here. And with that, we're back on Interstate 94. We're heading eastbound, leaving the Minneapolis area. So how did I think that the car did in downtown Minneapolis? So I thought it actually did very well. This version of full self-driving 10.69.2.2 handled rush hour traffic on the freeway, getting into the downtown area, and it handled navigation in the downtown area pretty well. There are a couple of scary moments that I felt the car was going to possibly do something wrong, like make a turn, or when another car merged into the same spot that I was merging into, making a lane change, where I did have to take over. But always be very, very aware of your surroundings and the other traffic, and be a defensive driver is really the bottom line when you're driving with full self-driving. It is a great workload reliever. It does take a lot of stress off, but it also adds some stress back into the driving in that you don't know what the car intends to do and what other cars around you tend to do, and so you have to kind of think ahead and predict what it's really planning to do and be ready to take over and interact with the vehicle to prevent a safety issue. So that's all I have for this video. I just want to thank you guys for watching, and we will catch you on the next one.